Hey, Geekscapists, welcome to a brand new Geekscape podcast. I'm Jonathan London, your host, and I'm here to help your journey, if I may take you by the hand and lead you through the Geekscape. A lot of stuff going on. We're getting into that holiday spirit. So today we're going to be talking a little bit about these brand new gaming systems, the Xbox Series S and the Xbox Series X that came out this week. And some people are already picking up their PS5s, although I thought you were going to get them till tomorrow, according to the pre-order, but I see people with the PS5. So we'll be talking a little bit about the brand new gaming systems. And also at the end of the show, for those of you who have not caught up on The Mandalorian, we'll be talking a little bit about this past episode with plenty of spoiler warnings to really discuss whether or not Baby Yoda is a complete psychopath. Hopefully the internet has not spoiled it for you because I really enjoyed the episode, but that's what we're going to be tackling a little bit and more on this episode of Geekscape. So I hope you're enjoying that. As Bolt T says off of YouTube, let's go. I thought YouTube was down. That's the warning that I got when I started the show, but I guess it's doing all right. I do have a Baby Yoda here in the room for those of you who are watching. And Heidi says, just turn around and ask him if he's a psycho or not. He might be too busy climbing up behind me and trying to bite me in the neck. I hope you're well. I hope you all have been enjoying Geekscape. I thought last week's episode with Chris DeMakes was a lot of fun. Again, go out and pre-order his book, pre-order the album. I'm a huge fan, as you can tell by my Chris Farley-esque interview skills last week. Thank goodness Katie was there to add some normalcy and professionalism to the whole ordeal. But yeah, that I'm a big fan, and I'm looking forward to the releases. So I've already got them pre-ordered. What I don't have pre-ordered, because I didn't quite have the Skrilla when it was time to hit the killer on that pre-order button, was the PS5 and the Xbox Series S or X. That is what I didn't have, so I didn't pre-order either of those. And now I'm starting to see them come out. And a part of me is like tampering myself by saying, yeah, but they're going to have like bugs and stuff. And you want to wait until all that stuff's like out of the way so that then you can like buy the systems and they've already been ironed out. The other thing is I've found myself in, let's see if any of y'all agree with me. Are y'all a little bit tired this week after an entire week here in the United States of political deliberations of whether or not we have a new president coming January 20th? I don't know. It's been a pretty exhausting week, just like under the surface. Me, myself, you should have seen me last Tuesday. I was nothing if not naively optimistic the entire time. I was like, hey, the math says and the mail-in ballots say this is going to turn out just fine. And you know what? According to Jonathan's script and what political pundits and analysis has been saying for months prior, everything kind of went according to that script. We have a brand new president-elect. Congratulations, Joe Biden. Super Action Man told everybody to vote. I don't think Super Action Man cares who you vote for. It's just if he's going to be putting his ass on the line in third world countries to keep American democracy straight, he's going to want you all to do your parts and vote. So I'm glad everybody voted. Record voter turnout, and I'm glad that we have a president-elect, or do we? Incel bot, if you're listening to my computer, I'm sorry that you're having a rough time right now and your guy did not get picked, but he still seems to have some tricks up his sleeve. And we'll see how these recounts and further lawsuits and things work out. But here on Geekscape, we're going to call it for Joe Biden. So there you go. Notch it up. I know. A lot of people were waiting for the official word. Has Geekscape called it? Yes. Geekscape has called the election for Joe Biden. So go ahead and throw that up next to Fox News' endorsement. Geekscape supports the president-elect. And not only, I think this is specifically a Jonathan thing, Alan Liu says, hey, you're repping the Jazz. That's right. If you're watching this on Facebook or YouTube or Twitch, you can see that I'm wearing my John Stockton Utah Jazz shirt. It's my number one team. And you know what? Fans, geeks, sports geeks, NBA geeks, there's like no offseason this year because the whole COVID thing caused everybody to like delay the postseason and the end of the season in the NBA. So it seems like the NBA gets like 3 weeks off, and they're returning already with an NBA draft next week in free agency, and the season's starting before Christmas. And it's like, weren't they just playing basketball? The Lakers got to enjoy their championship summer for all of 2 days, and I'm okay with it because I'm not a Laker fan. But it just seems a little screwy. But that is sports in the time of COVID. All right, this is Geekscape, and there's no Geekscape these days without my co-host. So my co-host is Incelbot. No, I'm just kidding. He made me say that because he said he was going to delete all my hard drive. But here she is. This is Katie. Y'all know her.
Hey, what's up?
A little bit of El Chicho there, Katie.
That's right. You forgot the most important thing of all. It is November. Therefore, it's freaking Thanksgiving time, dude. It is the best holiday of the ever because it's all about food.
Katie's wearing her, for you viewers, she's wearing her feast mode shirt with a giant yoked turkey. That is one of the, that's the most yoked out turkey.
I know. It's very it's encompassing my chestial area. But but yeah, Thanksgiving, best holiday ever. Are you super stoked? What are your plans? Do you have your meal planned out?
No, listen, this pandemic is still raging. All right, Katie. So we're gonna stay in place. We're gonna have like a 2-3 person Thanksgiving. We're not gonna get crazy because you know what? Thanksgiving is great. We don't need to have a huge super spreader party or dinner to celebrate Thanksgiving. Would I love to? Yeah, we'll find out. My birthday's a week later. We're gonna super spread it like a motherfucker. But
no, I'm not even saying like invite people over or anything. I'm saying have a feast to yourself. How exciting is this? Like you don't have to worry about Aunt Marge or whoever eating all the mac and cheese because you can eat the mac and cheese. It's the best Thanksgiving. This is like the most ideal Thanksgiving month. Because nobody has to come up. You don't have to hear about anybody's political opinions or anything like that. Maybe you'll go on a Zoom call for like 2 minutes, but then you can sit down and eat all the food that you've always wanted. And nobody is getting in the way. We're not dealing with anybody with veganism. We're not dealing with anybody who's got a dairy allergy. We're not dealing with anybody who, I don't know, wants to have tofurkey instead of turkey. Who are you people?
We're freegans. So, Katie, we're just going to see whoever. Really, our big Thanksgiving is the day after Thanksgiving when we go dumpster diving. We're freegans. You know that about me. We only eat free and other people's waste. So. No. You
can stand outside my dumpster. That's probably
just chuck it out your window. I'll try and catch up my teeth. Bolt T says, Katie, I just got a flashback. Didn't you entertain like Australian kids or something? How did that go? An episode or two ago, Katie was talking about some of her side gigging, and some of that entertainment involves her waking up before I do, so that she can entertain Australian kids over Zoom, doing Zoom games or something. Katie, how did it go?
That one went well. Australian kids are hilarious. Australians in general are just hilarious. Everyone's a lot funnier than we are, and they're just more lackadaisical. They were so fun. I forget, there was like terminology I learned that night while wearing my stupid bow tie. I can't remember, but it was just like, it was so like a big combination of British and Australian kids, and they were a ton of fun. The job I work for is called the Go Game. And speaking of which, I just got promoted for the holidays.
What does that mean?
It means basically that instead of running,
other people got fired and now you have more responsibilities. Is that what that means?
Yeah, and it like kind of it's so funny too because I like just booked a gig, but I was like, oh, now I'm getting promoted. Like everything good happened last week. Well, not everything good, but like a lot of good things happened last week. But it's like a little bit overwhelming. But yeah, I got promoted and I basically had to talk to clients a lot, which makes me nervous.
Okay, so I don't know what your job is. All I know is I run a strict ship here at Geekscape, really tight ship. And I'm like, hey, just as long, don't bring it in here. Don't let it interfere with your very, very strict work here at Geekscape. It's the same deal I have with Matt Kelly. I'm like, Matt Kelly, you can watch as many shit 80s movies as you want. But when it comes to Geekscape, you get your Geekscape done first, and then you can continue to throw your life away. That is the kind of thing that I do here. But as Bolt T says, maybe the Go Game is going to acquire Geekscape. We don't know. But the truth is, Katie, you're starting to get a little too busy. You just booked like a co-star role on a pilot you bragged about on Facebook.
Okay, no, guest star, totally different thing.
I don't know. Listen, I just say, hey, stand over there, say these lines.
Co-star is a much bigger role, but yeah, no, I'm just, my character is literally like a description. It's not even like a name. But I am excited
about Stifler in the American Pie movies, and
I like how big he got.
Sean Michael Scott exploded after that one. That was him, right?
I honestly haven't.
You could be in a female reboot of Dude, Where's My Car?
I could be. I can't tell what the name of the project is, but it's very exciting, and it's shooting in Las Vegas.
Oh, that'll be fun.
Yeah, very fun.
As long as you can still do Geekscape.
Yeah.
And as Jim Pelgrinelli says, you know what? Today's guest star, tomorrow's recurring character.
That's right. That's what my agent told me, and I was like, "All right, we'll see." It's a pilot. You never know what happens with pilots.
Just to try and like let you Geekscapists know that there's no problem here. I've sent Katie multiple phone calls, and she's picked up the phone twice. So I've gone from batting a 90% to like batting a 30%, and the truth is like she was already too big for us. I think that's really what we were already in over our heads with Katie.
I feel like you picture me in a very different way than I actually am. But okay, we'll go with it.
You know what? You gotta wish these things into being. You have to manifest these things, okay?
Yeah. Guys, what should I be manifesting now that I finally booked the pilot that I kept manifesting all this year?
PS5 for Jonathan.
Okay.
Let's start the manifestation as a PS5 for Jonathan.
Seems a little one-sided, but okay.
No, well, not if you're doing it.
Oh, just okay.
If I'm doing it, then it'd be selfish for me to wish that for myself. No, Katie, this is you wishing it for me. There's nothing selfish about it. Bring me the PS5.
Selfless wishing.
Me. I will wake on Christmas morn, and the PS5 will be there, bestowed upon me as if from Jesus Christ himself.
Why did you just become a gremlin?
Oh no, that's like my fantasy wizard character, wise soothsayer voice. I'm not the actor here. Ain't nobody giving me starring roles in their pilots. Ain't nobody doing that. Okay, I'm just here running a flip-flap funny show for a bunch of kids who didn't outgrow comic books and video games and crap movies. Okay, that's all I'm doing. That's all I'm good for. That's the dirt that's going to be thrown on top of me when all is said and done, Katie.
That is a lie, and you know it. That is a lie, and you know it. You're way more than that. You also do shitty movie scripts. I'm just kidding. I do. Matt Kelly, call me up. I got some for you. Jim Pelgrinelli says, "Oh, let's not. You got to manifest PS5 and a copy of Miles Morales Spider-Man under my tree, Katie." So your manifestation work is pretty much cut out for you. All right. Like I know that your Christmas list pretty much begins and ends with what does Jonathan want. So we're gonna keep it short right there. PS5, Miles Morales. I got to tell you though, somebody who disagrees that November is all about Thanksgiving is waiting to join us here on the show. And that's because he's fucking Canadian. They don't celebrate in November. He's already eaten all the chip chop. All right,
like a month ago, and to the level where for several minutes I'm like, what is that? Why is that park ranger on your shirt super muscular and different colors and not once did, and I only saw the feast part. Not once did it cross my mind that it could potentially be about Thanksgiving, because that was a while ago for us.
Derek, here in the United States, which is the meth lab that Canada is renting an apartment over, we celebrate Thanksgiving later so we can copy whatever the Canadians asked for. Whatever y'all give thanks to, we give thanks to later. And I want to say thank you for looking out. I know that Derek offered when the election was swaying a little bit. He was like, "Yo, I got a couch. Come on up." I said, "No, Derek, please. We got this. Super Action Man's got this." How could I ever talk to Super Action Man or look him in the eye again, his eyes through his sunglasses? How could I ever talk to that man again if I bailed on America and fled to Canada you and your early turkey eaters?
So, Derek, tell me, when is Canadian Thanksgiving?
Mid-October, second Monday in October or something like that. It's kind of it's a much smaller thing here. it seems like you guys like freak out and have like giant parades, and we're just kind of the like we're the Four Seasons total landscaping of Thanksgiving. It's not the real Four Seasons. It's just this like little thing where it's like maybe someone's mom makes a turkey, and maybe maybe nothing happens. There's no parades. I've never seen a Thanksgiving parade aside from on TV.
Do you believe that?
And then the like Los Angeles, like all like watching the.
I invite you on the show, and you don't just fucking go through like a damn train.
Always amazing seeing the traffic, like just the lights for the Los Angeles, like leaving for the Thanksgiving weekend. That's Thanksgiving, right? It's always like all over.
No, that's Vegas. Katie's gonna get stuck in that like in 2 weeks when she does her co-starring role or whatever it is.
Guest star.
Whatever it is, her starring role on this show, taking it over. Who's that girl there wearing the turkey outfit in the back? Let's put her in front let's put her close to the camera. She's great. She's giving us all the energy. This is great. Tigress. Listen, Derek, if Canada had more to be thankful for, do you think Thanksgiving would be a bigger holiday?
I mean, I'm pretty thankful not to be in the United States right now. So
we're turning the beat around like the fucking like Miami Sound Machine. Yeah. All right, Gloria Estefan, we're turning this shit around. You just wait, okay? USA will be dominant once again,
and I hope so. Like, I hope that one day I can like visit you again. It would, that would be great. So
there's not a moratorium on anybody going in or out.
Yes.
Yeah. You know what? Don't count your turkeys until they've hatched, there, Derek. All right.
Do turkeys hatch out of eggs?
Hell yeah, it hurts.
I don't know why. I just now knew this.
I thought Butterball just like manufactured them.
That's what I assumed.
Yeah.
They just pump them out.
Okay, so I think turkeys come out of eggs. I think McRibs also come out of eggs.
But I've never had one of those. Are they actually good?
You know,
delicious.
What? You can leave because that's the most un-American thing I've ever heard. If McRibs hatch out of eggs, McRibs hatch out of the eggs from like that movie Species, where Natasha Hendricks is like laying eggs in people and like trying to mutate and like, I don't know, replicate and fuck. Katie, take over.
Okay. No, I'm excited to see. I want to see the animation of a McRib being born and it's just covered in sauce.
It lays more eggs inside of you. That's the beauty of the McRib. That taste you're getting. Those are like those are fry guys that are being born within you.
Are we the ones birthing out the eggs?
Yes, you are a nest. When you eat a McRib, little McRiblets are seeded. They're planted inside of you, and they hatch. You know those little hamburgers, those little hamburger characters that are in the McDonald's thing? We're not talking fry guys. We're talking little hamburgers. Those little bastards. You can only have McRibs come out every few years.
So I was going to say they have like a long gestational period.
They have a long gestation period.
Like cicadas or something?
You can't trace it. After 7 years, McRibs got to go away every 7 years. Because those people are now dead.
Okay, so you birth them out. This is why I haven't had a McRib, because I haven't died yet. Okay, all right.
They're delicious, but I'll be dead soon.
All right.
But it was worth it. They're very delicious sandwiches.
Katie, Biden won. We can start believing in science again. This is science.
Dude, honestly, can we just take a moment and hear about the excitement for this? Because I was super pumped. And I mean, look, there are still so many conspiracy theories going around and they're running amok and it's been insane. And I don't know how many family members you have that are like, well, don't think it yet. Like, it's not happened yet. It's not over till it's over. And I'm like, but it is over. Like, that's what the election was for. Now it's over. I mean, I don't know. Maybe just me. But I have family members that still don't believe that it is over.
Yeah, I mean, Katie was staying in my attic, hiding until the results of the election. And I was like, hey, kid, you got nothing to worry about. She eventually came down because I wasn't feeding her. But
we know one thing and one thing only. I love food.
Well, Katie, listen. I joined Parlor on Sunday.
Did you really, though?
Yes, I did. All of the conservatives were talking about Parlor and how they were being censored on Twitter and Facebook. And let's be clear, all Twitter and Facebook did was say that you can't cut the head off of the head of our FBI. All they said was you can't just like go around saying that you're going to decapitate people. All Twitter and Facebook did that is censorship is put a little thing underneath your tweet that says, yeah, this might not be true. You might want to look into this. The election may not have been called. Coronavirus cases may still be going up. All this garbage that they were stating that was, like you said, conspiracy theory. Twitter and Facebook, all they were really doing was putting a little warning on it that was like, hey, this might not be true. They weren't deleting the tweets. They weren't deleting that stuff until you literally said, cut the head off of the FBI director, which is what Steve Bannon did that got him kicked off of YouTube. After hours, the video got taken off of YouTube, off of Facebook, banned from Twitter, all that stuff. So everybody's like, we're going to go over to Parlor. Parlor, I was like, what's this Parlor? I'm going to start a Geekscape group on Parlor. I haven't, but I went over to Parlor. That is absolutely 100% at the bottom of your screen, Geekscape. My ID on Parlor, it is at Jonathan London.
Man, I went and snagged it. That was a bit.
Did Parlor like exist before this week? Like
I don't know.
That's a good question.
Like never once had I heard about it in my life until this week. Yeah.
No.
Eric, let me just tell you this Parlor experience. Okay, Katie. I sign onto this thing. It is already a janky ass app. That app is like one of those apps that like the hotkeys aren't working whenever it's like, okay, next, and you click on next, and
then it crashes.
It crashes, or it's just not recognizing you're pressing. It's not recognizing you're pressing the button or anything. So you scroll a little bit, and then when you scroll, it activates. So it's not like it's a little janky. I had to give them my phone number. I'm not afraid. The phone calls I already get. Katie, you got to hear it. It's disgusting. Listen, my number's on every bathroom wall east of the Mississippi. Okay, so it doesn't really. Yeah, listen, it's not exclusive information. So I signed up for this Parlor, and you know what? I should have just put these things on the screen, but I'll describe them to you. These are actual screen grabs from Parlor that I am going to communicate to you. First off, my icon, for those of you who go to Parlor and befriend me, you don't have to, is just a zebra fedora. That was like appropriate, but at Jonathan London, the next thing, once you like once you confirm your account, Parlor dumps you to a page that says, okay, now personalize your Parlor experience. Like Twitter, it wants you to follow people. Listen to the diversity in their defense. Listen to the diversity of thought that you can find when you get on Parlor. These are the people that it offered to have me follow. Ted Cruz, Mark Levin, Sean Hannity, Devin Nunes, Dinesh D'Souza, and Phil Robertson from Duck Dynasty. And I was like, no, I don't think I'm going to follow any of those people. So let me see what other offerings are. Let me see what the next page has. So I clicked 15 times to get to the next page, and these might be a little more promising. I'm not as familiar with them. Diamond and Silk, Trish Regan, Maria Bartolomotov, Cheryl Atkinson, Tito Ortiz, who's wonderfully homophobic trash, Wayne Dupree, and I was like, no, I'm not gonna follow any of them. So I was like, okay, listen, I'm on Parlor. I got to find people to follow. Let's try the third page. So I clicked 16 times to get the thing to activate the third page. And I was like, oh, this is a little better. I don't recognize it. Joe Jorgensen for president.
Yeah, it's one of the third-party candidates.
Yeah, it's a libertarian. So here's one that I found. I found gaming news, and I followed gaming news, which is really gaming news on Parlor is just a repost of GameSpot's Twitter feed. So they're just taking stories from like IGN and GameSpot and republishing them under the gaming news on Parlor. Derek is on here. Wow. It said to follow Derek. So he's on.
Are you really?
No, he's not on fucking Parlor. He's Canadian. They won't let him on.
He's probably blocked in Canada. Yeah.
Parlor is the app equivalent of I didn't win. I'm moving to Canada. That's what this shit is. It's a bunch of people being like, well, I'm going to have it my way. I'm moving to Parlor. Me and my 3 teeth are going to Parlor, and my hateful rhetoric. So I get it. I get this one some people just show up on your feed like advertisements on Twitter. And the first one I get is this woman, Marjorie Green. I don't know who she is, but it says, it's an ad that just says, listen to this. President Trump could lose if you don't take action. This is fucking Saturday. Sunday. This is a full day after everyone and their mom confirmed him.
You can't do anything at that point.
No, you can't tell the conspiracy theorists. President Trump could lose if you don't take action. Watch the video and then swipe left to sign the official Stop the Steal, all caps, petition. President Trump fought for us for 4 years. We might fight for him. We must fight for him now harder than ever. And establishment Republicans aren't lifting a finger. That means it's up to us. Swipe left, sign the petition, stop the steal. I immediately
swipe left.
Yeah, that shit.
Everyone's so like ready to like swipe right. So it just seems so weird. It's so antithetical to, I don't know, that in and of itself, that action in and of itself is always like what you use to like go backwards on something. So it's just
all the way swipe back to the 1950s while you're at it.
It's ironic. I mean, that you're going the opposite way.
I just opened Parlor, and let me tell you where some of the fantastic articles are that are being sourced onto these feeds. There are articles from YouTube. They think that's evidence. There is several Google Sheets that they're like, see, it's all here in this Google Sheet I created. Other people have shared things from theblaze.com, the Federalist, the Epoch Times. These are bullshit fringe websites.
Okay, but
completely psycho.
Let me ask this. What is the one thing? This goes to both of you. What is the one conspiracy theory that you have like a feeling of like, you know what, that might be true? Like what's the one thing that you guys like think, oh, that sounds crazy, but maybe it could be true?
Lizard people.
The weekly
lizard people. The weekly world news.
Is that even a discussion we have to have? It's obviously the lizard people.
We had the Weekly World News on the show weeks ago. They're going to hire Katie. I don't know why. Probably to chat.
That's the pilot you're starring in, right?
That's my guest star. Yeah. I'm like not even going main cast.
We head to Las Vegas. She's going to be dressed as a lizard. Listen, Katie, you can't afford Katie anymore. She's a star now.
Yeah,
you can't afford Katie. So that was
tens of dollars, guys.
That was about 30 minutes of my Sunday, was making a Parlor account and realizing it is just the biggest, creepiest, cringiest echo chamber of non-thought that I could imagine. It's gross. Mm-hmm. And that's my Parlor review for you Geekscapists. Go ahead and follow me on Parlor.
Derek, tell me, how are Canadians so grounded most of the time?
Oh, what? I don't know that they are. I think that.
Oh.
Yeah, I know a lot of crazy Canadians, and just trying to separate myself.
Live up there?
I think Steven Seagal is like a monk at a temple that's near me. Like just all, there's all sorts of crazy shit that happens up here too. I think that there's not that many of us. The whole, we're very spread out. So it doesn't get, the news doesn't travel as easily as it does in the States. Neither does the coronavirus.
Do you guys just not have internet up there? Like
not in some places, and in some places it's very, very slow.
Yeah, it's pay out the
and you have to pay a lot of money for it in comparison to everything in the United States. So there's a lot of crazy, and I think a lot of those people are too stupid to use computers as well. So there's a lot of not like. I'm sorry.
They're idiots. They're dumbasses. No,
that's the wrong word.
Getting a Canadian to be mean is awesome. Okay, let's do more.
That is the meanest I've ever heard Derek.
I don't know if that's true.
You know what? There was that one time you almost started a fight at Comic-Con, Derek, because you were being mean, and I came home for a very long night of Comic-Con, and I had to intervene between two Geekscapists because Derek was being mean, and he threatened Derek with a fist fight. So, Katie,
I think we had to intervene between one Geekscapist because I did not have anything to do with that.
Just the Canadian pacifist that you want to be, all right, pal? You instigated everything, and then when he started throwing hands, you were like, "No, I'm out. I never did this."
Jonathan, take over.
Jonathan, talk him down. And I was like, "Okay, well, I wanted to go to sleep, but I guess I'll sit in the freaking lobby for another 2 hours and talk this guy off a ledge."
Oh no! I mean, can we talk details, or is this one of those things that we don't
think
really
we
talk?
can
Gotcha.
on that one. Just know Geekscape it's not all bunnies and fun at the Geekscape, all right? Sometimes there's serious drama in the Geekscape reality show coming to Parlor soon. As soon as they figure out video or something. Dude, Parlor sucks. Speaking of technology that doesn't suck, we've got these brand new game systems coming out literally this week. The Xbox Series, we got the S and the X, and the PS5. I got a little bit of Skrilla in my bank account right now, so I'm trying to think about the PS5 because I got to play that Miles Morales game.
You got to play it. You have a PS4 though, right? You got a PS4
I have a PS4 already.
You can play Miles on there.
I'm not doing the downgraded version of Miles. I'm going all the way, Derek. Yesterday I was getting myself all excited about the up-res features of the PS5 because I'm still I'm like 2 years in and still playing Red Dead Redemption 2, being like, hey, maybe I'll go hunt a buffalo. So Derek, you're an Xbox fan.
I'm an everything fan.
Don't lie. The show you host for Geekscape back 3 years ago was an Xbox game.
Yeah.
Talk about these Xbox Series S, Series X. I don't even know the difference. And why should I get the PS5 first versus the Xbox? It's all coming down to my familiarity with PlayStation. It's coming down to the fact that I like the Spider-Mans.
I mean, I'll start by saying that as soon as my PlayStation 5 comes, hopefully tomorrow, I don't know when the next time I'll touch my Xbox is because Spider-Man is the game you got to play, I think. I
can't wait for that.
And Horizon Forbidden West.
Yes.
Putting that out there.
That's going to be, obviously that's a ways down. That's a little bit down the line. But in terms of right now, the Xbox doesn't have, there's games to play on it, but there's nothing new. There's nothing spectacular. There's nothing that you can't play on your old console. So we've got the Series X and the Series S, not to be confused with all of the other poorly named Xboxes. The Series X is like they're both considered next gen consoles. The Series X is much more powerful, and the Series S is still really powerful but much less expensive. And the biggest thing that they're doing is like the Series X is meant for like people with like really nice TVs and they want to have the best like 4K graphics and with HDR and all that sort of stuff. And the Series S can run all the same games, but it's targeting usually like a 1080p signal, 1080p resolution for those.
No. Why would you buy any of these next gen game consoles to play at 1080p?
I mean, some people don't care about that much, and for a lot of people, I think as well. I think price is the most important thing, and a lot of if I would have to wait I would have to wait 2 years for the Series X to come down in price enough where I could afford it, or I could grab a Series S right now, and play the 300 plus games that are on Game Pass and not have to buy anything else. Like I think it's really, that's a console that's meant to be like a companion to Game Pass, like low cost of entry. It's sold out everywhere, but if any more stock comes in before something like Christmas, like it's going to be a super hot ticket item for a family console, I think. And I think that a lot of the like general people that are going to buy a console for the family or whatever, those are the type of people that don't care that much about that stuff. And probably like half the time when if I put on a 4K Blu-ray for Michaela versus like something HD on Netflix, like she's like, I can't, they look the same. What are you talking about? Like,
sure.
Like it doesn't matter to the vast majority of people. And I think that they, and they realize that, and they've got two great consoles at two like really attractive price points. I think.
Yeah,
and maybe your TV console's not big enough to fit the Series X because it's fucking massive. I had to like rearrange everything. So
you got the X, Derek.
I got the Series X. Yeah. I was lucky. I was a little bit sad because I didn't think I was going to get it yesterday. Best Buy shipped it out on like Monday night, and it said it was going to come like next Monday. And it was, today being the 11th is Remembrance Day up here, Veterans Day for you guys. So it was a holiday. So I had the day off work. So I got to play some games on the Series X, and spent 2.5 hours talking to Microsoft on the phone because the controller that came with the console did not work properly.
No.
Yeah.
Your gaming skill. It wasn't your gaming skills. It was because for anybody who listens,
that's what they kept telling me. But
like you complain about not being able to play Viva Pinata.
Viva Pinata is really hard. Like it is. It just looks cute and it looks like it's for children, but like it's not. It's a
bloodbath.
Yeah, so I was lucky enough to get the Series X, and it's interesting. Prior to that, I had the Xbox One X, which was their like premium console from a couple years back. The biggest things that I'm noticing straight out of the gate are like load times are incredible on this thing, and to the point where it's
your load times or the system's load times.
Loading times for games, and even for like on the Xbox One X and the older Xbox Ones, it often felt very slow if I'm like jumping into the store or jumping into Game Pass or trying to do anything. Like it's got to like load it up entirely, and you're just sitting there for like a minute and you're looking at your phone, and like it just takes forever. And now it just feels like most of that stuff just feels instantaneous, which is pretty awesome. And I like had an external SSD connected to my old Xbox to run games off of. So I didn't think that the speed difference in terms of loading games would be that substantial, but it's like something that would take a minute or two on the old one is like 5 or 10 seconds on this one type thing. So it's, I spent a lot of today playing the new Assassin's Creed game, which was just came out yesterday as well, and it's one of the games that has it's a feature Microsoft calls Smart Delivery. So you just buy the game, and regardless of if you're playing on like an old console like the Xbox One or the new consoles, you just get the best version of the game that console can run. You don't have to like buy it. If I have an Xbox One now and I buy the game, I don't have to buy the game again later if I decide to get a new console. It's super cool. A bunch of games support that. But yeah, I was playing Assassin's Creed for a lot of the day, and it's like, when you, in a lot of games I would like avoid fast travel because it like was never that fast, and it like would take almost as long as just
going there,
just going there, just riding your horse, just driving there or whatever. But it was a little bit more interesting to just like ride the horse. It's literally it's like 1 or 2 seconds. What's that?
Is it like Ghost of Tsushima? Or you just
it's like it's faster than Ghost of Tsushima. It's super cool. I that's been more impressive to me so far than like, it didn't really launch with any big games that aren't playable on the older consoles. So it's very like, it feels very transitional in that like things look a bit better, but there's nothing like mind blowing in terms of graphics at this point. I think that we will get there, and it probably won't take that long to get there. But right now we're not seeing that much of it. Mm-hmm. But that's been more impressive than anything is just how fast everything feels. And they also have features like there's a feature called Quick Resume. So this morning I jumped into, I was playing Assassin's Creed, decided I wanted to check out a couple weeks ago. I picked up Watch Dogs Legion, the new Watch Dogs game, which also has some enhancements for the new console. Jumped into that game, and then like when I decided I didn't want to play that anymore, go back to Assassin's Creed, it literally just like flips around like it was asleep and like you were already playing it. Like it doesn't have to, you don't have to go back to the menus. Like it just pops up the like title screen for like 2 or 3 seconds, and then you're in the game, like literally at the pause menu that I left the game at. Like,
Derek,
great.
Are you still employed?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay, all right, just to make it sure, because it's because today in the States this was Veterans Day.
But it's Remembrance Day up there.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Remembrance Day up there.
Yeah, I said that. Yeah.
Remember how
Remembrance Day up here.
Okay. Remember how the U.S. has veterans and we're just a bunch of wussies. I get it. It's great. Yeah. It's great. I'm being a jerk, Derek. But in all honesty, what's the like prime price difference? And put it in U.S. dollars. What's the price difference between the X and the S on this?
In U.S. dollars, I don't know off the top of my head.
Well,
but
in Monopoly money, what is it? Yeah.
In Monopoly money, the Series X, you're looking at $5.99. Plus tax, and I believe it's $3.99 for the Series S. So a pretty substantial difference.
So it's like $500 versus $700.
Yeah, totally. Yeah,
roughly for okay. And then the PS5 is basically a $500 system. I want the one you put discs in because I want to play all these old games.
Yeah, that's the one I went for as well. And also like I sometimes will lend a game out. Like I still generally buy physical games unless digital games like on a crazy sale or something like that. Because it'd be great to like if I could borrow one from someone or if I could lend it out, or I do trade in games from time to time. Like, and just the fact that like on the digital one or on the console that can take discs, you can buy them from anywhere. Like, it's on sale at Walmart for half the price it is on the PlayStation Store. I can go grab it from Walmart. Like, you're not just limited to the PlayStation Store like you would be with the digital one.
Do you plan on getting rid of your PS4 once you get the PS5? Like, because
I already did.
It seems like everything was backwards compatible.
Yeah.
You didn't want to wait to migrate everything over, or is that something that just happens through your PlayStation account? Because I'm sitting on it, just like, granted, I'm still playing the thing. I've not bought a PS5 or pre-ordered it yet, but I'm going to wait to like migrate them and make sure everything's there.
Like, I didn't care a ton about the migration aspect because I'm probably mostly going to play the new games anyways. And of course we've got like, if you have PlayStation Plus, there's the PlayStation Plus collection on PS5. So you just get access to like 20 of like some of the best PS4 games that happened. Because I have PlayStation Plus, I uploaded all my saves to the cloud first.
Nice.
So the saves will all be accessible and I can download them on the new console. And then I just have to reinstall the game if I do want to play it. But really it has like my PlayStation's really sat there since the summertime, played through Last of Us 2 really quickly and then played through some of Ghost of Tsushima and haven't really touched it since. So it was like sell it a few weeks before type thing just to try to get a little bit more out of it before the new consoles come out. So
I just remember when I migrated my Wii to my Wii U, the Pikmin carried
that
everything
was lovely,
over, and I was like, "Hey, maybe something cool happened here," but it won't.
It was one thing that was cool on the Xbox as well because they've really have focused on things like backwards compatibility. So
which is smart. When they came out with stuff that like it was going to have that, like everyone went crazy because it was like, come on! Like, at this point, we know we want this backwards compatible.
Yes,
we want to play the old games. We have all these discs. We have like a whole library full.
Well,
of them.
and they've gone another level as well in that like the controllers that I bought for my Xbox One are the same. Like I don't have to get new controllers. Like they just work. Wow. Like if if you had a headset for the old Xbox, it'll work with the new Xbox as well. And like,
are there features in the new controllers that this one doesn't have? Because you were saying that you're playing old games on the new system, but that only works like with Assassin's Creed Valhalla. That only works if there's nothing new on the new controller. Are they planning on doing new features?
So they did release a new controller, but it's mostly the same. It feels slightly different and it's a little bit more textured, and it has like a dedicated like screenshot button basically, which the old one didn't have. But other than that, it's all the same. It's not like on the PlayStation side, they've got the DualSense controller, which has like apparently just incredible haptic feedback and a lot of other stuff that the PlayStation 4 controller did not have. So they kind of broke that compatibility there in order to like take a step forward. Like that's one of the things I'm most excited for, is to check out like how that controller feels and how like, the PlayStation 5 comes with something called Astro's Playroom, which is it's
Astrobot.
Astrobot, which they had a fantastic VR game on PlayStation VR.
I love that game.
Yes,
so much.
It was so good.
So good. It was basically the Sony version of Mario. It was so good.
But just like being in VR in that and having that like different perspective of like looking around the level and like moving your head to get a different perspective on things was so cool. But they have it's apparently a few hour, basically like a glorified tech demo, but it sounds like it's a lot more fun than anyone was anticipating it to be. And it's like like they said, it's just like if you are not sold on this controller, or if you want a great demonstration of how big of a leap forward this controller is, to just like play Astro's Playroom when you turn it on, because the haptic feedback in there is apparently just incredible.
What about a controller, Derek? Because like I always think about like how many things that Wii U tried, where you're like blowing into the controller, and there's different stuff like that. And obviously it had the accelerometer in it. It was a lot of fun. I liked that Nintendo Land game that was like the tech demo that came.
That was a lot of fun. Yeah,
I thought that was cool. Is there a controller? You read these video game sites a lot more than I do. You know what's kind of going on.
Yeah,
a controller you can put in your mouth. Control with your tongue, or like just you're holding it with your hands, but then you also put it in your mouth. Is that a control? Is there any way, like you bite down and like then maybe it goes faster? Is there any chance? Keep in mind, Katie's the one who like is looking forward to Thanksgiving and all the eating going down. Is there a game maybe for Katie where it's like is there a game like Thanksgiving Training where we can train?
I'll tell you what,
a mandible or something like it control it with her cheeks.
Those motion controls for the PlayStation 4 VR system might be what you're looking for because they are dildo shaped.
And they glow, so if the room is dark, like you're not going to lose it or anything.
They still look like those ice cream scoops that were on the PS Move or whatever it was, those wands.
It's the same. That's the same controller.
Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm good. I don't need the ice cream scoops. I'm good.
Yep.
I don't need them.
Oh, that's so funny. I heard that they're not doing a VR version for the PlayStation 5, which I thought was kind of a huge deal because they didn't get it right for the PlayStation 4. Like it was cool and it was great. It was a great introduction.
Yeah.
It's exactly why we got an Oculus, and that's why I was like, I'm probably not going to get a next gen console for quite some time now because we've got the Quest 2, which I'm very
I got a Quest 2 as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
Derek,
what
stop
is your
buying
job?
Stuff. It's like Canadian socialism.
I can't
money.
stop. That's how
he gets a check from Canada. That's how he's affording all these video game systems.
That is not true at all.
It's communism. This is communism and socialism. And I'm going to post this on Parlor. This is not right.
I think I just all of the emotional turmoil that I don't deal with, I just compartmentalize and like buy like Mondo posters and game consoles and all that sort of stuff instead. So
I have to say though, the thing that bugs me the most, and I'm sure I've said it on here before, but the Quest 2, the fact that there's only one login.
They're apparently working on that, and I also hate that.
I went bananas. I almost made us return it because I was like, you can't do this. Like this is not family friendly. And
do the Oculus folks think that people who buy Oculus are such losers they don't have family and friends? Is that what this is? Do you think?
It could be.
I think it was more of like I feel like it was more of a Facebook push to get people to buy more things to maybe buy.
Yeah, and they shortly after the Quest 2 came out, they have officially commented that they're working on like user profiles, which I'm so excited for because some games like have multiple save files, in which case it's totally fine. But if it doesn't, it's so frustrating because I'm playing this super cool game and I want Michaela, my partner, to like check it out as well. But either
I don't want her to be at my save spot.
Well, either she needs to, either she's missing the tutorial and stuff because she's where I left off, or she's having to start the game over again and then might not play to where I got to, which means I got to play things like. There's just not a good. It's just not a good. It's not a good workflow right now.
Yeah, it splinters off to so many different things, and because Mark actually signed into it first because we were so excited, but I was off doing something, and he felt so bad, and the only way that we could reset it is by factory resetting the headset.
Yes.
I was
you're not gonna. It takes you're not gonna do that every time you want to oh, you can play now.
Switch it over. Yeah.
Just set a 45-minute timer, and at the once it's done, these games will be downloaded and all
that. When's that update going to come out? Because that sounds like a pretty prohibitive feature.
Yeah, I mean, people wanted it all across the Quest 1's lifespan too, and they just never mentioned it. So now the fact that they have mentioned it, I hope that it's sooner than later.
They're a big deal, but I'm also very skeptical about how soon they'll do that, which is it drives me nuts.
I know that they also want of course. Part of the big controversy around the Quest 2 was the Facebook account requirement that they've now rolled out. So now I think that that's required and that you can't just use an Oculus account. They're also they seem to be really strict about like not using like a shared Facebook account. So I think that they might prioritize it because the more users they have in there, the more data they can collect from more people. So that's the goal. So and they also have that Facebook Horizons platform launching, which is kind of like a build your own world Oasis type thing from Ready Player One. And
the United States is falling apart while we do this. So that's the siren.
I'm not in your attic anymore. They can't come for me.
Oh no, I told them where you live.
No, come on.
I told my friends on Parlor. If you they were like, "Hey Jonathan, what's up with that girl hiding in your attic? We're coming for her." And I was like, "Yeah, all right." They're really nice people. They sent me some YouTube videos to watch, and they're critical thinkers. They're really my friends on Parlor are really good people. They're salt of the earth. So let's move on, and this is where I'm going to give another Mandalorian spoiler because when y'all were talking about the glowy wand orb things, we were talking about eggs hatching in rib. It got me thinking about this last week's Mandalorian episode. Geekscape, this is where I tell all of you who have not watched the new season of Mandalorian, of which there are, as of the recording of this, there are 2 episodes.
Season 2,
This
episode 2
is your major spoiler warning. If you've not watched this season 2 of Mandalorian, of which there are 2 episodes, please, this is your spoiler warning. We're going to start talking about these last 2 episodes, and you're going to want to bail if you haven't watched them. And go watch them and then come back and be like, let's see what Jonathan and Katie had to say about it with Derek, who I don't think is watched them at all. But
it's one of those shows that Michaela would get really mad if I watched without her, and our schedules have been pretty opposite. So
it seems like you've been pretty open. Just waiting on
you're
her.
Not wrong. You're not wrong.
You're like, oh yeah, I bought a 17th video game console. But yeah, if you haven't watched, be like Jim Pelgrinelli and peace out a bit to avoid these Mando spoilers. He says, good show. And Jim, you can come back here in a week or so whenever you catch up and listen to the rest of the show or download it off of our podcatcher. Any podcatcher will do. Geekscape us. If you're not subscribing to us off of iTunes or Spotify, we'd love to have y'all. Okay, so we got to season 2 of The Mandalorian, and the rumors coming into season 2 of The Mandalorian is that everybody's talking about this Boba Fett rumor, and Boba Fett. And this is where I'm going to spoil it big, and I'm going to go ahead and put the Mandalorian graphic up to let y'all know that this is going to be a super spoiler. We got the answer on Boba Fett in the first episode.
Yep.
Where we not only saw Boba Fett's armor, but in the teaser at the end of the episode, we actually got the actor Tamara Morrison, who played Boba Fett. He actually shows up to camera there in like one shot, and he somehow survived the Sarlacc. His armor for sure survived the Sarlacc, and now Mando is in search of other Mandalorians because they're going to be able to deliver the child where he needs to be. And he's, and now he's got Boba Fett's armor. So going into episode 2, it starts to become Firefly, which is what I heard.
That's what I said. It's just straight up Firefly. And like, I don't know, Derek, how'd you feel about season 1?
I loved it.
Yeah.
I thought it was just, I don't know. It was just like, did you not love it? I feel like
nothing compares to that first episode ending.
Yeah.
Like that was like my face melted off my skull. I was so excited. And then everything from then on, I was like, oh, look at Baby Yoda is a freaking psychopath. I feel like I'm in the minority where I'm just like, I don't know. I'm so exhausted. Like it was cool seeing so many comedians in the show. I thought that was great.
She's already co-starring.
Yeah, that's the one that I'm co-starring. Yeah, right. My God, that would not.
She's going to the desert to film being in a desert.
Yeah, right. I'm gonna go hang out with my good friend. Oh God. Oh shit. Oh, she's the sister to the famous author. And
watch you come out of this one.
Wait, what?
I'm just gonna watch you come out of this.
I know. It's gonna kill me. It's oh my gosh. I have all of his books.
Sedaris? Thank
you, Amy Sedaris. I love Amy Sedaris.
I couldn't watch you squirm anymore.
Thank you so much. I was like, I'm gonna start looking it up on my phone. No, Amy Sedaris. I love her. She's so funny. I can't stand her in this show.
She's acting, Katie. Like, listen, when you get on The Mandalorian, they're gonna be like, "Hey, go stand over there and put on this eye patch and do your thing." And you got guilds now. Like, Katie, it's acting. This is thespianizing.
I will say this: episode 2, she's a lot more toned down, but like she's a completely different genre of cartoon character in season 1 and in episode 1. Season 2.
It does not feel like a Star Wars character. It feels like somebody who's like spitting in their hands and being like, all right, let's get to it, folks. It sounds like the human equivalent of Mater from Cars.
Yes.
What she's playing. And you're right. It does not feel like a Star Wars character. It feels like something very much out of the American South.
And it feels like she's just trying to put out every like Star Wars terminology out at once, where you're just like, okay, like come on, like it's just
let's get some power converters over there on them bantha tracks.
I know. Come on, droids. Like, okay, we get it. You're blending a lot of different lore and things like that, but it bugs me. But yes, is Baby Yoda a psychopath?
So Derek,
yeah,
in this episode. Mando is hired to take this sentient being, it's like female frog-like character, to a very
legitimately a frog.
Legitimately a frog-like character. She's awesome. But needs to transport her sub-light speed because she's to where she can have where her mate is, her husband or whatever, because he needs to impregnate these eggs. And she has these eggs that are in this vat. And that is why she has to transport like sub-light, which is riskier because, you know, the New Republic's out there and he doesn't have the right tags. And that becomes part of the episode.
Right.
And the whole thing is she's expressing the care for these eggs and how they aren't like they're not fertilized yet. Their season is very tight. Like,
it's her last gestation chance. Period. Yeah.
I feel like I had a lot of questions about these eggs, and you guys are explaining them all.
It was like me jerking off in that place 2 weeks ago. When if you listen to the last episode, you know that I went in to test the swimmers, and it was just like that. This might be my last go around, Derek. This might be my last hurrah. So Baby Yoda starts eating these little motherfuckers. Yeah. He starts eating these eggs out of this vat that, you know, Mando and this woman are like repeatedly, don't touch that, put it away. This little bastard goes to the side of the vat, uses like a force thing to get the little eggs to come to the side of the vat, then pops the lid. And I'm like, oh, he's going to like bring them.
Impregnate it.
He's going to impregnate them. He's going to strengthen them. Fucker rips into them and starts eating them like chicken McNuggets.
Well, and you think that like the force will like make something happen. You think here's the thing that I'm most annoyed by.
These are sentient beings.
I feel like Baby Yoda is supposed to be more important than he's ever being shown as. And it's like, okay, is he just comic relief? Is he just like a thing that's just waddling around that we can be like, oh, look how cute, which it is a cute puppet. And I'm very excited that we have this, but it's just like, what is the point?
From like an outside perspective, not seeing the episode, it kind of just sounds like bad parenting. Like, do you blame the baby? Like in real life, do you blame the baby when it gets into shit? No, it's a fucking baby. Like,
okay,
put the egg somewhere that the baby can't get it.
To that, Derek, I will say that we've established in season 1 that baby is 50 years old and the oldest thing on that ship.
He's still a baby, though.
I know, but like, how did Yoda ever get so wise when Yoda was 900 years old and spoken freaking like riddles and rhymes, but was super wise? This little bastard's been around for 50 years and can't figure out to not touch the sentient creatures and put them in his mouth and kill them. Like, if Yoda, how does he ever become Yoda wise? How do any of these freaking things
just a
survive?
Few episodes before, he couldn't like he couldn't stop grabbing that little like rod off of the ship. Like,
you're 50 years old. You're not that much shorter than Spud Webb, and he played in the NBA and won a slam dunk title. Like, I don't see how. Like,
clearly, his impulse control is not there. Like,
if he was 2 years old and they were like, "Oh, here's a 2-year-old Yoda," I'd have been like, "Okay, cool, I give it." He's 50 years old. How did this entire race even like achieve anything?
I will say he is starting to make some kind of verbal sounds now, which is interesting to see. And I'm like, when is he going to start talking and like making actual sense? Like, he does seem like he's understanding Mando a little bit more, but that's what makes it all the more psychopathic, because he's like, no, don't. And he's like,
I'm going to eat him anyway.
Like, just like, oh,
he knows what they're saying. He knows that this frog
just made him want the eggs more.
This frog lady has been saying, "These are my only children. These are the most important things to transport. This and that." And you just watch this little bastard start eating these things, and you're like, no. Lucasfilm came out and said, we're going to defend this choice because we are all getting really upset. First off, there's a Funko Pop that has Baby Yoda coming out with the little vat of eggs. That's been announced. There's pictures of that thing.
Of course there is.
Lucasfilm came out with kind of a thin defense saying, oh, they haven't been impregnated yet. They're not sentient creatures yet. To which I'm like, all right.
It's caviar to him. Like,
tell that to your conservative friends who are like, when does life begin? All right.
Put that out on Parlor. See how it goes.
Yeah. On Parlor, I'm going to be like, the Supreme Court needs to cancel Baby Yoda.
It is interesting to me because like it feels like Baby Yoda, as cute and as amazing as this character is starting to feel a little Jar Jar-y. Like, I don't understand. I like
it when he eats a face hugging looking spider. I'm down with that. I'm like, oh, he just crunched down a spider. That was gross, but I'm down.
Heidi wasn't good with the bad.
Heidi hates spiders. She fucking hates them. And watching that sequence was the most fun I've had watching TV in a long time. Really, I was watching the sequence, but I was mainly watching Heidi. And those Geekscapists who know, like that spider design was actually an original design for Dagobah from back in the day. I don't know if you had friends, but I didn't have friends. So I love those Star Wars art books that had like all the artwork in it that was like going into the concept art for the original Star Wars trilogy. And there's a piece of artwork on Dagobah with a massive spider with like a snout and teeth. And that is the spider that is in this episode that chases Mando through the ice caves and has a bunch of different spiders skittering around. There's spiders everywhere in this episode, Derek. Just be warned. Heidi was losing her shit.
Spiders, though, that it was a really cool design that I had not seen before because I got outside of the house a couple times, but like the design of it was terrifying and really cool. Like I was grossed out, but I was like, that's actually that's something we haven't seen yet, and I like that. Those things explode pretty dang easily, though.
Yeah, he's shooting them; they're exploding. I thought it was a great episode. It was directed by Peyton Reed, who directed the Ant-Man films. Mm-hmm. So I had a ton of fun with it. And I thought episode 2 was a lot of the fun that I wanted out of episode 1, but that Bantha plan was just so, like, I mean, they telegraphed the ending. They didn't give you the ending. They gave you a really dumb plan, and then they gave you the ending. So that's about as far as I want to spoil it for Derek. But
it was like going back and forth. And that's the thing that, like, really just... I don't know. It exhausted me just going back. Let's go to this one place. Oh no, we have to go back and then like replan. Let's go back. It was just like, okay, how many times are we just going to go back and forth between these two places? Well, our good friend is just being a Western sheriff. He's just being a sheriff, just a straight up sheriff on Tatooine.
I'll tell you what though, I'm loving it. I look forward to Fridays. It's the only show that I definitely have to schedule in my day and be like, okay, I gotta watch it, if only because, like Derek said, the internet starts talking about this stuff immediately. It doesn't even give it the weekend.
I swear it's like 9:05. Like it doesn't drop at 9, and it's like 9:05, and there's already like shit happening. And it's not just like people; it's like big outlets like IGN and GameSpot, and like you got
giving full reviews.
Yeah. But just like discreet, like I remember seeing something about the egg, like it's not even 9:30 yet. Like, how did you watch the episode like already? And you're already talking about these eggs.
I think the season is shot. I don't know how they course correct the psychopath Baby Yoda. I don't know how they fix that one.
Maybe I think he's just a Baby Yoda.
Maybe he's gonna shit out like a bunch of preformed sentient beings. I made a joke.
That he loves frogs because remember that one frog that he grabbed and he.
Yeah, but when he craps these things out, they're like these things aren't gonna be alive. Ian Kerner and I were joking around on text. I was like, what if you just see a bunch of frogs show up as Force ghosts? And it's like he's just ferried them on to the Force, and he's just like adding Force friends. And then when he eats something, it just becomes a Force projection, and that's it. And now he's like, oh, cool, thumbs up. But no, I think these animals are dead, and I think that he's a criminal and a psychopath, and we'll see in episode 3 this weekend. And my advice to all of you is to watch these episodes day of, as soon as you can, because the internet is a cruel and horrible place. That is
you could apply to get screeners like a week before or whatever. Then you could probably avoid.
On Parlor, nobody knows how to use their TV, so they go to Parlor and nobody spoils anything because they're like, "How you work this dang nabbit remote?" Parlor, it's a conspiracy. Them Baby Yoda's a conspiracy. He was eating those babies, and they didn't even have a chance at life. He ain't no Christian.
So that's why you should join Parlor, so you don't get any actual spoilers.
Yeah, the only thing that they spoil on Parlor is, I guess Trump's gonna win. I guess Hillary's going to jail. There's tons of spoilers on Parlor, but there's spoilers for shit that'll never happen.
Okay.
So like the second coming is happening.
Checks out.
Pelosi's gonna get murdered. All this stuff on Parlor, it's full of spoilers. Now that you think about it, it's just spoilers for a bunch of conspiracy theory shit that's never going to happen. So enjoy that. They're as big a fantasy fans as we are.
Amazing.
Derek, anything that you want to add, my good friend? Now that we have covered the subjects that I promised we were going to cover.
Have you guys been watching any non Baby Yoda content lately? I've just started the Queen's Gambit. the Netflix original series.
Really good.
And it's excellent.
Heidi watched it. I watched them by proxy. I watched them as Heidi watched them, and I was impressed. And I was like, "Hey, that's that girl from New Mutants, that movie nobody saw but me, and I liked."
That's where she's from.
Yeah, she plays.
She was in. That's where I knew her from. But I was like, I swear she's like that was so long ago that
she's in The Witch. Yeah.
Oh yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Man, she's been all over the place.
Talented. I think her guest star cast is actually really cool too. Like the kid who played Dudley is not spoilers. I hope not, but Dudley Dursley from Harry Potter movies is in a great American accent. I'm kind of surprised by how that guy's acting career has progressed. Like he's really talented and not the trajectory I was expecting from such a minor character in that series.
No, I recommend Queen's Gambit, and other than that, I don't really know what else I've been doing. As I said, I went back and I'm hell-bent on finishing Red Dead Redemption 2. Actually finishing it before that PS5 arrives Christmas morning that Katie wished into manifestation for me. Yep. And let's be honest, next weekend we get Hyrule Warriors, which I know you're not a fan of, Katie, but I'm excited about a little Age of Calamity. I want to play it.
So you're not going, like, you could literally get Spider-Man tomorrow, but you're not going to.
Me?
Yeah.
Derek, I can afford a glorified demo. Let me just shit, you did put that bug in my head just now. Let me go ahead and
like, did you have a good experience playing the main game on your PlayStation 4? Because it will feel like that and it will look like that, and you
man, if only there was a show where you could put these opinions.
We've been trying, like, this is PlayStation talk, and I keep telling Shane O'Hare to be like, what's, are we going to roll the ball on the Geekscape Games revival?
If you depend on Shane, all right,
yeah,
for all of, like, if you only do things because Shane told you to, you're going to end up dead. Right? Like I
almost have.
Multiple times we've covered on the show how Shane is just now making adult decisions. And if you listen, Shane's awesome. He and I talk all the time. We love sharing the memes. But Derek, if you take your cues from Shane, well, I'll just say bon voyage right now, pal. Nice knowing you. Ain't gonna happen.
Great endorsement.
Thought about it that way before.
Excellent endorsement for good old Shane.
I and the listeners will listen to just you talk video games.
Yeah.
You can add whoever you want. I'm sure Katie would join you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, come on, dude.
All right.
I got a lot of friends in VR as well, so
I need you to pick yourself up by your bootstraps.
Yeah.
Get the show going. Otherwise, Matt Kelly is going to add 14 more shows to the network with his fucking family members.
He's going to do that anyway.
Like, dude, we're planning this. Okay, on the 12th of December, we want to do an all-day live stream as a benefit because the horror movie night one went so well. So let's do it. Let's make it Geekscape network-wide. Let's have everybody come on, having fun. Let's play some games. Let's have some charity. Katie's going to run the whole thing, go game style. I'm just kidding.
we can
have
different.
You're actually. We should talk about it because you're actually a pretty good resource for that because we're trying to think of cool things to do on the live stream. And I'm looking at this roster of content, and I've just been an absentee parent too long. It's really the Matt Kelly Family Network.
There's literally a Christmas show coming out now.
I don't think the Kellys talk to each other in person as much as they talk to each other about pop culture shit on the network. I think that their Christmas, Thanksgiving, non-existent. I don't think that they talk to each other. I don't think they share anything. But when they get together to talk pop culture on the Geekscape network, man, that's like a Lifetime original movie. It's the podcast network that saved the Kellys. I'm going to start pitching that. I think Katie's going to be you're going to play Matt Kelly. You're going to play Matt Kelly.
Okay.
And we're going to figure it out. How a podcast network saved Matt Kelly's
America? Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's the sequel.
There you go.
we know it saved Shane O'Hare. We know it saved Matt Kelly. It probably saved a few other people. And it's going to save Derek when he launches his brand new Geekscape video game show.
Geekscape Games.
Geekscape Games.
Well,
no,
we want to do
I like it.
I know.
Alliteration.
We've had Geekscape Games.
It's literally GG, which stands for good game.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Geekscape games.
Shane is not your master. Shane is Shane's master.
Didn't know I was signing up for a therapy session.
I mean, right?
Yeah.
You knew you were signing up. Restart your podcast.
Yeah.
Talk about any game under the sun. You can talk about fucking Pong and I'll listen. Please. Derek, you're my favorite show on the network.
For you.
Now I have to listen to One Hit Thunder.
One Hit Thunder's great, though.
It's a great show, but yours was the best. You were the best. Nobody wants to hear me talking about fucking McRibs and eggs growing under your skin and shit like that. Nobody wants to do that. I added Katie just to make myself a little bit more relevant and try and suck out a little bit more life out of this beaten body of a podcast. You, Derek, you are the future. You must return to us. Please restart a video game show. Please.
Okay, I'll do it.
Okay, listen. Izumi Seki from YouTube, I think she's in Japan, says, virtual hug. Love you guys. Really, really by heart. Good vibes. And Bolt T, he's throwing the pressure back off of YouTube. He says, win comic show. Listen, you're actually saying win comic show. We have a comic. Her name's Katie. We added her. Hopefully it adds some humor to this humorless experience. But win comic book show? I don't know. That's up to Ian. And you know you don't want that. So that is their State of the Union.
Wow.
December 12th, you're getting a live Geekscape stream. I don't know how many hours it's going to be until Matt Kelly ODs on cocaine.
No.
Maybe. You say no. I say maybe. I say we've had a good run. Katie will be a part of it.
He just finished paying off his student loan, so he's flush now, you know?
Yeah, well.
Now he can afford it.
Talked about going to grad school. Some of us went to grad school. He's like, look at me. All right. No, it's great. It's a great thing. Matthew, I know you're listening. It's a great fucking thing, and I'm proud of you. I am absolutely.
He's not listening. It's 10 p.m.
Live, but I did. But
he's all tucked in.
Listen, within an hour of me posting it on the iTunes feed, great episode. I get a text. Great episode. I'm like, all right. Thank you, Matt.
He's so supportive, though.
He's so supportive. Matt is all of our child, but like the child.
Just don't eat the eggs, Matt.
Don't
eat the eggs.
Don't eat whatever he wants.
They're McRib babies.
Cannot let him do it. Okay, Geekscape's gone to some places. We'll be back next week to check in on Katie's workout regime.
Oh, it's so hard.
Yeah, well, what doesn't challenge you doesn't change you. We're going to have the first episode of Derek's New Video Game Show next week. And we'll see what happens, okay? We're at December 12th. That's our next big goal. The big Geekscape holiday brouhaha featuring Katie.
Cool.
I'm going to put that in the title. You're going to make the graphic.
I do see that coming. Okay.
It's literally just going to say Katie and Friends.
It's going to be very small. So.
I'm going to advertise it on Parlor. All right.
Do it.
I don't know if we're going to have a democracy next week or even a world, but Geekscapers will be here if we do. Okay. Katie, say goodbye to the friends.
Goodbye, friends.
Derek, say goodbye to the people with freedom.
Goodbye, people with freedom.
That's right. That is our friend Derek. He's Canadian. And for both of them, let me get that banner off the screen. For both of them, this is Geekscape. We'll catch you next time. Tell your friends to subscribe. Share it with them. We love you, and we'll be back next week. Geekscape forever. Peace.